From DJ Khaled's unforgettable performance at the 2018 Overwatch League finals, to Skara's legendary,
up until they lose the game, they're winning. So
there have been so many moments in gaming and esports history that were so iconic, they're still referenced to this day, immortalized as timeless memes within their respective communities. For the Overwatch community, one such big moment came when ex-LA Valiant DPS player Brady Agilities Girardi found himself sitting in a car with the Valiant's then CEO, Noah Winston, on a rainy night outside of an In-N-Out burger. This is the In-N-Out incident. Before we dive in too deep, let's establish some context. During the first season of the Overwatch League, teams were ambitious with how they constructed their rosters. The LA Valiant, for example, had 12 players who formed the organization's main team, as well as a sister team that acted as a scrimmage partner and a talent pool in case the main team started underperforming. This was meant to create a sense of competition within the organization, in that players on the starting lineup couldn't get too complacent, since there was always someone ready to take their place if they had a bad game. Needless to say, this dynamic didn't create the healthiest environment. For Agilities, who is a fan favorite heading into the inaugural season, a combination of pressure to perform, internal team tension, and a shaky series of performances resulted in him being benched, replaced by the flex DPS Kariv.
It was difficult for me at first because of how hard I've been working to keep my spot, and I had to deal with a lot of pressure and stress from the main roster guys, and just I had to take a lot of criticism and a lot of feedback, and they didn't do it in the nicest way, so it was hard on me mentally. And then, after all that work, after all that, trying to impress them and trying to gain their trust back, they just sent me to the other team, and I felt crushed.
According to Agilities, after playing on the sister team for a week, he found new motivation to earn his place on the starting lineup and saw huge improvements to his game. However, this led to the disastrous moment that has come to be known as the In-N-Out incident. Showcased in an episode of Inside LA Valiant, a behind-the-scenes series which shows day-to-day life in the Overwatch franchise, the scene unfolds in a dimly lit car as Agilities and Noah Winston are having a discussion. Agilities, then 18 years old, is informed that he is getting a chance at returning to the main roster, as he had hoped, but Winston heavily implies that this would be his one and only shot.
So you understand that you're going to have a shot at the main roster again.
Yeah.
But to be transparent with you, this is the shot, right?
Yeah.
And so I really hope that you go into this giving it everything you can and really working as hard as you possibly can and showing everyone how hard you're working and how much you're learning from Coach Moon, because this is the shot. If this doesn't work, it's going to be really hard to kind of build that bond up again.
Needless to say, this clip doesn't show the Valiant org in the best light, and the Overwatch community believed that the scene had gone too far and was in poor taste. Many criticized the decision by the Valiant to include the scene in the video and accused them of trying to cash in on players' emotional vulnerability for the sake of views. Winston defended the decision to include his talk with Agilities on Reddit, calling it a comedy of errors. He stated that bad weather forced the scene to be shot inside of a car, and that In-N-Out was chosen because it was close to the players' apartments. He acknowledges that the clip didn't come across as intended, but they wrote it out to be purposefully melodramatic. But fans persisted, saying that a conversation with a player about his future on the team is probably something better done off camera. But Winston stood firm in his defense of the clip's inclusion as part of a goal of having a, quote, real identity, even if that identity is polarizing and controversial. If we didn't have the In-N-Out scene, no one gets to see why we made the decisions we made. Everyone is left in the dark about what happened with Agilities. In an interview with Kotaku, Agilities said that he definitely would have preferred that it stayed behind the scenes, but understood that this was out of his control, as he mentioned how it stated in his contract that the Valiant could use the video footage as they saw fit, and that he ultimately couldn't do anything about it. Privacy is not a luxury that pro players expect to be given, competing in such a public setting. Legally, the Valiant had every right to create whatever kind of content that they wanted to, but it's obvious from the stress that it caused the players and the outcry against the org's decision to include the clip that it might not have been the best choice. The In-N-Out moment became a meme referenced both in and out of the Overwatch community. One of the most iconic parodies was made by the Philadelphia Fusion, who featured similar dialogue to the original interview.
Your walkout game is
Shanghai walks out happier than you. It's got to be the worst walkout in the league.
Since the In-N-Out incident, the Valiant have gone through several roster changes over the seasons, a new set of colors, and Noah Winston has since stepped down from holding a managerial role at the company. For Agilities, he eventually went on to play with the Toronto Defiant before rejoining the Valiant ahead of the 2021 season. But unfortunately, the Valiant made the decision to release the entirety of their players and coaching staff as they would be moving to compete in the Asian Pacific Division. As for the Overwatch community, many look at this incident with fond memories, and for that reason, it will forever have its place in esports history.
This video was made possible thanks to our wonderful patrons. A huge thank you to everybody on this list, and shout out to Jason, Foxy, Lyra, Mauve, Nate, Nathan, Sierra, Shoopy, Shampoo, Weeaboo, Spartacus, and Karantal for being platinum supporters. And an extra special shout out to Mookie, Noodles, Marco, and Steven for being diamond supporters. Thanks for sticking with us, folks. If you also want to support our channel and unlock perks, check out the Patreon link in the description below, or join our Discord server. If you want to help us out in a different way, leaving a like, subscribing, and hitting the bell to stay up to date is also appreciated. My name is Nikita, and thank you for watching.